Hello everyone, Hardcore Ninja here with another SFML side-scroller game tutorial. I hope you are enjoying the content and learning a lot. I really enjoy making these tutorials. Again, this is all kind of improvised, and I do have to look at some of my notes in real time as I go through this. Again, I don't claim to be any expert on C++. I'm actually pretty new to C++, but I think I've learned a lot over the course of the last 6 months that I've been deep diving into C++. So hopefully I can share with to you what I've learned. I feel like I've learned a lot of kind of like modern techniques and way of doing things that a lot of other SFML tutorials on YouTube don't really cover, like the use of smart pointers, etc. Just kind of using modern C++. So I hope that this is a game engine that is utilizing the modern form of C++, such as unique pointers and such like that. Okay, so in the last video we created the state base class and a main menu class, and if you've been following along, you should be up until this point. You should see this beautiful digital art background that we uploaded and initialized in the main menu class to kind of prove that we are in the main menu. Okay, so the goals for today is to actually start to create the GUI class and also to create the settings class, but we won't do we won't actually have a functional settings state, but at least we'll be able to access it from the main menu and have a button class so that we can easily make customizable buttons. And essentially we'll get this button up in the main menu with the ability to click it, and that will push the settings state, and then in the settings state we won't have anything but a back button, and that will pop and we'll go back to the main menu. So we can be able to go between the main menu and the settings state. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. All right, so before we do that, there is one thing I want to clean up regarding the SFML events in the game class here. So let me close this down. So if you want to go in here and open up your game CPP and your game.h, and I'm just going to do Control and O so everything's closed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to update here. All right. So SF event is there's all kinds of events, and if you go to SFML's website here and you go to learn, you go to API documentation, you go to modules, and I believe this is in the window module. Yeah, see SF event. So there's all kinds of events regarding mouse button events, keyboard events, joystick events, and then there's things called poll events, such as the close button and the minimize button and the resize button. So essentially all events that are within the that have to do within the window can kind of be picked up with these with this kind of event class. Okay, so we have this. So the first thing I'd want to do, you could read up on this just to learn more about the events here. But you see, this is what we currently have, and this is just a very common while loop that will pull events that happen, such as clicking the close button. When, like, for example, this says, if a key is pressed and that key is the escape key, close the window, etc. So we're not going to assign keys like this. This is kind of a very primitive way of doing it, but I just kind of want to wrap this up into its own function so that that update function looks cleaner. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to make a unique pointer. So I'm going to call this events. I'll just call it event. And then std unique pointer sf event, called event. Okay, just like that. Cool. All right, so we have a event. Great. And what this event's going to do is it's going to replace this local variable here. Okay, because we want to actually add this to the game details as well, because this comes in handy if you want to track button clicks and stuff like that. So we're going to have it up here in the game details as well. All right, so we'll actually have a raw pointer, and this will be fine to have a raw pointer here because the origin of this object is a unique pointer. So just like that, okay? And we want to create an initialization function that just kind of initializes this in the exact same way we've been initializing all of the smart pointers. So this will be this event equals std, make unique. Hopefully by now you're getting a good sense of how to create and initialize unique pointers. Unique pointers are awesome because you don't have to worry about doing for loops to delete all the raw pointers and all that stuff that makes pointers so annoying. So that's all you have to do to initialize the event, and make sure you call it here. And now the event is created, okay? So now what we want to do is we want to go here, maybe under here, go void update event. Okay. And what we're going to do in here is we're actually going to take all of this, cut it, put it over here. We can clean this up a little. Okay. So essentially we can get rid of this. And you see this is a local variable. So we might want to first event here. And you have to dereference it like that. Okay, and this has to be, this is a pointer, so you have to use that. Okay. Excellent. And now you can get rid of this. All right. So now we're using this event that we're initializing the game class, but we're passing a pointer of that object to the game details. So we're creating it in the game class, but it will be accessible to all the different states to get event information from. Okay. And that's it. Now the next thing we want to do is just add this to here as well. Update event. Okay, bam. All right. And now you're going to know that this is going to work because if I were to comment this out and run this, all right, you see how I have a spinning wheel when I try to close? You need this poll events to close the window, okay? Like without polling any mouse, and you see there's no mouse events being pulled. Nothing's being pulled. This window is just open, and when the mouse is over it, it doesn't know what to do because it's not looking for events that are happening within the window. That's the whole point of this, okay? So when you uncomment this, all right, this is how you know that this is working, all right? Now it's fine. Now I'm able to click the X button and close down the window. I can expand it like that. Everything is good. I can minimize it. Again, if I were to comment that out, I would go to spinning wheel, and I won't be able to track any events, including mouse clicks, stuff like that. So that's the whole point of this. It's like polling or looking for events that are happening within the window. All right, that's the whole point of this. Okay, cool. So that is the whole point of this. Excellent. All right, so that's working now. So that's all I kind of wanted to do there. Okay, now to set us up for success, let's go ahead and close down all of this. That's all I wanted to do here. Just double check this. Yep, beautiful. All right, cool. Great. So we can close down that. And I did that right in the... I'm sorry. No. All right. So before we get out of here, we have to do game details dot event equals reference this. No, I'm sorry. This event dot get. And that's getting a raw pointer from our unique pointer object, okay? All right, now we have sent this event to the game details by this point. Well, we've added it to the local game details here in game state. And then when we push the main menu class, we're sending this game details object. And then everything that we initialize here is now in the main menu, okay? Beautiful. All right, so now we're complete. Hit save, you out of here. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to go into states again here. Great. Excellent. Cool. Okay. So what I want to do here is to be able to use the buttons, we actually need to get mouse information from the window, or from the SFML, yeah, from the window. So what you're going to want to do is we're going to do user input variables. And in here, we're going to have a SF vector 2i, and we'll call this mouse position desktop, and we'll do SF vector 2i mouse position window, and that's all we'll need for right now. We'll have different mouse positions for the view, which is like camera and stuff like that at a later stage. Right now, all you use that, and down here, we're going to do void update mouse position. Okay, cool. Okay, excellent. So we need this so we actually know where the mouse is in order to click the button. All right. So this mouse position desktop is equal to SF mouse get position. Okay. So this is what you use to get the mouse position. And if you don't put anything in this function, you see it reads, get the current position of the mouse in desktop coordinates. This function returns the global position of the mouse cursor on the desktop. Okay? So if you don't put anything in this function, there's a lot of different variations of this function that are overloaded. So if you go to peek the definition here, you can get it with the window. You can get it, I think, with view as well, etc. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. But anyway, if you leave this blank, it's going to get your mouse position from your system, like anywhere on the desktop, in or outside of the application. Okay. Now do this. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the window. And by the way, that you see this returns a vector 2i, and a vector 2i is just a container for two integer vectors. So we're going to use these a lot because we're in 2D, so you're only dealing with an x and a y axis. So it's just a way to group like the x and y variables. For anything you're doing that requires maybe like position, size of a square, etc., you're going to be using these vector 2. And there's different ones. There's vector 2f for float. There's vector 2i for integer. There's vector 2u for unsigned. So essentially, this returns a vector 2i. So that's why back here we had to use a vector 2i. And this next one will also use a vector 2i. So okay. You have to dereference it. Okay, you see you put the window in here, and now this is going to get the mouse position specifically within the window. Okay, so that's how that works. And that's all we need for right now. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, that's all we need for right now. Okay, another thing I want to do is if you go back to game here, we might as well initialize a font from here, like a global font. So I'll do font. And I forgot what, I'm not sure what game asset I'm going to use. I have like a little quirky alien game asset that I got from itch.io. And I also got like a fantasy one too. So let me see what I got. I got, yeah, I got this one. This one's like looks crazy. Um, yeah, this one looks really cool. I'll probably use this because it's like a crazy alien thing. So let's try to find a crazy alien font. Alien font. All right, this is pretty cool. It doesn't really matter what we use at this stage. We just wanted to use something for prototyping. So if this looks like crap, we can always. That looks cool. Looks about the same. All right, so let's do this. So I'm just going to copy this. You want to use a true type font. That's the file format that SFML accepts. Go into here, go into resources, and in here, I'm going to create new font. Okay, then just put it in here. We'll call this just font. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Okay, we found it. Cool alien font. Okay, so if we go down the font here, we'll do SF font, and this will just be like our global font. We might have other fonts, but this would be like our global font that's like the majority of the game uses. And then for like state-specific fonts, we will add those fonts directly to that state. But this will just be kind of like the global font. So we can probably, a good place to put this would be down here. So void init font. And oh, again, we want to do std. I'm sorry, let's do this again. Std unique pointer sf font. Okay, that's what we want to do. And again, here, this be like this font equals std make unique. Yeah, it's a little bit more typing than a raw pointer, but it's definitely worth it for sure. And then once we've made it, we can do if. So all these like load from file functions return a bool. So you can put them in if statements here. You can read about it on the SFML website back here. So I think font's in here, right? No? No, maybe it's in when. I forgot what module font's in. No. Here we go. you see, for example, they show you how you can do this. So this stuff will return a bool. So you can put it into this and have like a throw statement or something if it doesn't load properly. So that's what we'll be doing. This font load from file. This is resources, right? Font.ppf. And if that doesn't, then we'll throw error game failed to load that. Okay, just like that. And we'll call this, let me just make sure I got that directory perfect. Yeah, resources font. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll need that for the button. I might change that if it looks ugly, but at least for right now, it's fine. All right, so this, I put this after event. Yeah, so this and it font. What we have to do there, and here I will do sf font pointer font, and then back in here, this game details dot font equals this font dot get. Okay. Bam. All right, we're good. Run this, shouldn't have any problems. Thing pulls up, it's all working. Cool, cool, cool. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, cool. That's what we want to do. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now I think we have everything. We have the font, we have the mouse position. Now we're ready to get going on this graphical user interface class, or GUI class. So at this stage, I'm going to go add filter GUI, go up the project, we'll go to add class, we'll go GUI. It does not need a base class, okay? All right, cool. So we'll do f and def like we always do. Find this, and then indef. Okay, cool. So, oops. So this GUI is actually going to be a namespace. So just to go over what namespaces are, when you type in std vector, for example, std is the namespace and vector is the class within the namespace. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to have several different classes that are related in a single header CPP file, and be able to tell the difference between them. Okay, so we're going to make a general namespace called GUI. All right, like that. And we'll make it like that. And this class actually won't be the GUI class, but actually be the button class. All right, within the namespace GUI. Okay, so now when you want to access the button, you will have to do GUI button, just like you have to do std std vector, std io string, whatever you use, like that. Okay, cool. All right, so for this button, we'll need some private variables and we'll need some public variables, of course. So the constructor is going to be the big thing to create here. Okay, so essentially we need a sf vector 2f, and we'll call this the position. We need a sf vector 2f, we'll call the size. So we need an x and y position for a position. We need an x and y position for a size. Okay. We will need a SF. What will we need? We'll need a SF font pointer called font. We will need an SF. Oh no, we need a how about an std string? std string that we'll call string, which is like the text. The font, we'll need a, after we get the font in there, we'll need a unsigned character size, like the size of the font. We will need, all right, then we'll need the different colors essentially for the button. So we'll need SF color button. Well, we can do yeah, button idle color. We can do copy a few of these here. Hover and click. All right, so we have 3 different colors for that. Those are like essentially the 3 different things that could happen. It could be no mouse, no hover, no click. It could be hover, it could be click. All right, we might want to do this for the text. Might want to be able, all right, and we can also affect the outline too, but I doubt we will, but we might as well just accommodate for it. Like that. Okay. Cool. So I think that's everything. I'm just gonna check my other project real fast just to make sure I didn't forget something off the top of my head. Just so we're not wasting time. Yeah, that's all we need. Cool. Excellent. All right. Cool. Well, that's about it. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, now for the outline here, we can go ahead and initialize these to SF color transparent, just in case we don't want this, essentially. Because I don't think we will use this, but we may, not 100% sure. Okay, that should be good. Okay, cool. We'll definitely want the button to have color. We'll definitely want the text to have color. Actually, we may not even want the button to have color, but we'll definitely, at the bare minimum, the text needs to have color. So I actually will, so when you initialize things like this, everything you're initializing like this has to come at the very end of it. That's just kind of like the rule of C++. So we'll do that. And what we'll do is we'll just make sure that the order of all of this kind of aligns with that. So we're dealing with the font first. And then we're dealing, this is also related to the button position, button size. All right. So that way it's extremely clear what's going on here. Okay. So like that. So we don't even need a button color. Like if all we want is just like a text only button, you know, everything else will be automatically default transparent. Okay. All right. And then we'll need a virtual button destructor. Okay. Excellent. And we will also have a void init variables, which we'll just clean up the constructor a little bit just so that we have essentially all of this stuff in here so that we don't have an ugly constructor in case we want to add more to it. Okay, cool. So for right now, let's go ahead and just double click, Control M then O real fast. No, I'm sorry, period, then enter. There you go. Okay, go back to here, grab this, initializers, and just take a second so this is readable to do this kind of thing. And instead of if you declare the constructor like we just did for this, you will have to redo all this again. So I suggest you just copy, paste all of this, and then put a button. And now you have the constructor essentially. What am I doing? Are you crazy? What the heck? Oh, that's fine. All right, so now we have the button constructor. We have the you know what? Just for formatting's sake, I'm going to be super OCD and do it this way.
Yeah, I like the kind of the ocean. When a giant wave comes pounding down.
Ah, it was like the same thing.
I think it's gonna crush you, but
All right, whatever.
and it breaks you. Down and sends you
I'm being super OCD right now. I apologize.
That's when you get up and laugh. That's
All right, here we go.
to know you're alive.
And this ambient music and coding, man, nothing better. Just like that, beautiful. Okay, and then essentially what we'll do is this init variables. We'll do here. And I just like doing this because it keeps the constructor nice and clean, because we may have other functions we want to, other initialization functions or whatnot we want to call on here, and this just keeps everything very you could do all this in the constructor if you wanted to. I mean, there's absolutely no benefit to doing it the way I'm doing it over doing it in the constructor, other than it looks nicer. Idle hover click, idle hover click.
I bet nobody ever had to remind them that they were alive. They killed for food, they starved, they froze to death, but
Beautiful.
I'm sure they laughed a lot better than most people today do.
Okay, cool. And if I go back here, just grab this. Okay, that was a big constructor, huh? Cool. Okay. Oh, I don't want to print. Save. Cool. All right, nice, groovy. All right, so what we want to do now is, so essentially, all right, so we're going to want a SF rectangle shape. And this will be like the button shape. Okay. Or I don't want to spell it like that. Spell it like that. And then we want SF text. Be the button text. Okay. Then we want SF color, and we want a text idle color. We want hover when all this stuff really. I want that for the button. I want that for the outline. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I think that's everything we'll need. We'll also need a enum class called button states, and I have idle 0, hover equals 1, click equals 2. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, so first things first. Okay, so we'll do this text dot set font equals font. Okay, we'll have to dereference that. This text dot set string equal to this string here. This text dot set character size will be equal to character size. All right. So there we go. We've just initialized this. Okay. So now for the next thing we need to do is we need to set the origin of this text, and essentially set origin. The origin is kind of it's just a point on the object that you're going to be corresponding the object to. So for example, by default, it's always going to be in the upper right hand corner of a square. So I can paint a picture here for you. So by default, if you were to create a square in SFML, the origin by default will be in the upper right hand corner here. So when you move this around, it's going to, like, if you were to say I want to put this in the center of the screen, it's going to align this so that this will be in the center of the screen, but the origin will be up here. So it's gonna put this point in the center of the screen. Okay. So what we want to do is actually put the center origin in the middle of our objects for this button. All right. So the thing with text is that text has an artificial rectangle. So if we were to have some text here, and it has like an invisible rectangle around it, and you can access this rectangle from what they call the global bounds. All right, global bounds. Okay, so this rectangle here is essentially the global bounds of the text. Now, the text global bounds is variable. It depends on the size of the font and the size of the string. So if you have some text here that is like this small, like let's say I move this to 8, you have some text that's this small and this big, text, whoops. All right. So the global bounds of this text will be like super tight and skinny to it, right? Like that, right? And this is an invisible square that you don't see. So in order to properly set the origin for text, you need to initialize the string first and the character size, and then set the origin after you do that. If you don't do that, then essentially it doesn't know how big the string is going to be, and it doesn't know how big the character size is going to be. So that's something I kind of was playing around with for a while until I figured it out. So that's why I'm taking a break to tell you. Okay, so in order to set the origin of this text, dot set origin, then you take the text. See, so now that we've set the character size and we set the text, we now have enough information to accurately identify the origin. So then we're going to do text dot global bounds dot x divided by 2, and this is going to be a float, okay? And this accepts a float, so you should be fine. Oops, I'm sorry, this is going to be width. Use width, all right? And then you're going to take this here. You're going to change this to height, okay? So instead of x and y, they just use width and height. Okay, so what's going on here, all right? So essentially, again, as I explained, by default, this global bounds will be going to this corner here, all right? So essentially, if we take this and divide it by 2, will be here for the x, and then if we divide the all right, so essentially x of l is like this. This is 0, and this is positive. So this way is positive, and down is actually positive for the down is actually this way is, oops, come on. This is positive for the y-axis, all right? So you're going from 0 to infinity, positive infinity from right to left, and you're going from 0 to positive infinity from up to down, all right? So this is 0 on the y-axis, 0 on the x-axis. This could, if you're like right here, this would be like 0 on the x-axis, 20 on the y-axis, all right? If you go this way, you'll be 0 on the x-axis, negative 20 on the y-axis, all right? So positive y is up to down, and positive x is right to left, okay? So just remember that. So essentially, what I'm doing here is taking the entire length of the string as well as the size of the text, and it's building this XY coordinate. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm saying get the global bounds, which will be all the way over here, and divided by 2, which would put me right here. And then I'm saying that's for the x-axis or the width. So get the entire width of this and then divide it by 2. So I'm right in the center, okay? And then for the y, it's like get the entire height of the y and then divide it by 2, so I'm right in the center. So if I go to the middle of the x and the middle of the y, I'm right in the center. Bada boom, bada bing, right? All right, so that's how we are going to set the origin, like that, okay? Now, before I go any further to this, I actually have to set the shape before. So they'll do button shape, all right? Dot set the size of this, all right? So the size of this is I'm actually going to get this button position here, dot x, and then I'm going to do button position. Actually, I don't even need that. I can just put button position in here like that. Button position, because button just take this and put it right in here, because this is going to accept a vector 2f. So that's perfect. That's all you need to do there. All right, then you can do button shape dot set position, and just do, oh, I'm sorry, I got this mixed up. Put the position in here and put the button size, here, all right? And that's good. Both of those accept the vector 2f, so you don't have to do anything. That's just going to be perfect the way it is. Okay, cool. Now for this, now that I have the position, I have the size, now that I have the size of this, now I can set the origin of this. So I'm going to do button dot shape dot set origin, okay? And this is going to be the exact same thing. This button shape dot get global bounds width divided by 2.f. And then the exact same thing, but I'm just going to change it to height. Height for that. Bada boom, bada bing. Origin is set. All right, now the next part, what we want to do is we always want to set the text perfectly in the center of the button. All right, so you see here in my other thing here, I had set the position, set the size, set the origin. Oh, we got to do the fill color and all that as well, yeah. But for right now, we'll set the position. Okay, so I set the origin of the text and I set the origin of the shape. Okay, now to get the text to line up properly, you have to do it this specific way. All right, so, and I'm not even really sure about the math behind this, but this will guarantee that the text is always in the center. And I found this out myself, and I had to really experiment to get this to work for a while to get it perfectly. So this will guarantee, if you do it this way, that the text will always be in the center of the button, regardless of the size of the button, regardless of the size of the text even. So set position. All right, so we want to set the position of the text in the center of the button shape at all times. So we're going to do this to button shape dot get position dot x. Okay, and and for the y-axis, and I think this has to do with the character height, the character size. So the character size affects the kind of the global bounds in a little bit more of a detailed way than a rectangle shape. The fact that you're just dealing with the text and there's a character size attached to it. So I found that you have to do the global bounds. You have to get the y here. And yeah, you got to subtract it by the text character size divided by 4. And I found 4 to be the number that works, essentially. So I could do this, text character size divided by 4. I just got to copy and paste that in there just so. All right, so now that I know what it is, I'll go ahead and write it. So minus static pass, because this is going to return a unsigned, so you want to convert it to a float. This text dot get character size, okay, divided by 4. Just like that. Okay. Yep. Cool. Right? Yeah. All right, cool. So you just want to static cast that portion of it, and then that should be good. Okay. So I have some theories for why this works, but I'm still not 100% sure. Essentially, my theory was, okay, so you have this global bounds that's around it, and then you have another kind of global bounds just around the character size here. All right. So I really have no idea, but essentially, if you divide it by 4 and doing it this way, if you have a rectangle shape and you have some text, this method, regardless of the size of the regardless of the character size of the copy, this method will always perfectly place this right in the center of your button shape. Okay, and that's what you want essentially. Okay, because the button shape is necessary because you want all that surface area for the mouse so that they don't have to precisely click on the text, for example. Okay. All right, so that's beautiful. And I might rearrange the order of these now that we have it kind of going in this, because you do need to initialize the button shape first and then the text. And I think that makes sense. So anyway, now this button, now we need to do the colors, and we're kind of done with this. Set fill color. So the fill color, so we'll just set this to the idle. And then this button shape dot set fill color, set outline. Okay, like that. And then this text dot set fill color to the text idle color as well. Okay, great. So now our buttons are initialized with everything we need, with the idle colors and everything, okay? So I'm just going to take a second to rearrange the order so that all this stuff is exactly in the same order as they are in the initializer here. So I'm just putting the button, the position at the top here. Just so the flow is identical. Just so the flow is identical to how we initialize them. That's just the point of that. And I might just call this button shape position and button shape size, just so all the information corresponds exactly with the name of the variables here. So that it's easy to read when you come back to this like 10 years from now. Okay? I think that's really important. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Brilliant. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we can close all that. Now we need to create an update function. Okay, so we'll have a void update, just like a general update. And for right now, this will take a SF vector 2i, and this will be the mouse window position for now. Okay. And then we'll have a update SF vector 2i. No, I'm sorry. This will be update button state. Okay. Just like that. For right now. So we'll start on this. Well, we can go ahead and initialize both of these. Okay. So now, so I guess we can say if mouse, well, essentially if this mouse, or if this button shape dot get global bounds contains oh wait a minute, hold on, let me see something here. I have to double check this. Yeah, that should be right. That should be right. Oh, this has to be static casted to a float. Right? Okay. Uh, and you have to separate it like this. Okay. So you'll have to static cast each one of them at this stage. We'll again we will do this we will do this with whatchamacallit, with a view, with a camera view at a later stage, but this is for right now just getting this going, okay? So let's just remember what we're doing here. So essentially, we will have this update button called from the main menu state when we add the button class to the main menu state, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to send in this position. We're going to send in this mouse desktop position, okay, essentially from the mouse, okay. So if this global bounds contains essentially that mouse position, this is how you know if you're intersecting or if you're going to be containing um, like the mouse or anything of that nature. Okay, so that's essentially what we're doing right here. Okay, and if I look over here just to make sure what I know, just to make sure I'm 100% confident, yeah, great. And that's going to be a mouse position reference. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yep. And we can have different overloads of this function as well to make sure. Yep. Exactly. Cool. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Okay. So, cool. So, we can say if this doesn't contain this, then well, I got to create a button state variable too, right? So I'll go up here and we'll have button state, right? And button state, okay? This button state will equal button state idle, okay? Now you could have just made this a basic enum and just put idle here, but you'll get a lot less warning errors if you make it a class and you include this. In code blocks, you may have issue with this. So in code blocks, you may just have to make this a normal enum, and then all you would have to put is idle. So if you have issues with that, just a heads up. Else, if this does contain this, then this will be hover, and we'll go a step further than this. So hover, and if we are hovering, if SF mouse button is pressed, mouse left, and that's how you do it. Forgot. Mouse is oh yeah, you gotta do it. I see. You gotta do it like that. Okay. Do it like this. This is like a function. Huh? SF. All right, so you need the namespace. This is a namespace. Mouse. Look. Cool. And I think I might not make these capital just because I'll forget to capitalize them. And it's a little bit just idle. hover, click. There's no need to capitalize those. And I put equals 0, etc. there just so I can clearly remember the enum number. And just like that. Okay, that looks good. That looks great. Okay. So essentially, if the button does not contain the mouse position, then this is going to be idle. Okay. If it does contain the mouse position, it will be hover. And if it contains the mouse position and the left button is clicked, then it's going to be a button click. Okay. Cool. All right. So now we'll have a switch here for this button state. Okay. So essentially we'll have case, button, state, idle, break, case, case, button, state, hover, break, case, button, state, click, break, default, and then we can do a throw here. Error. And for these, I like to just like show the function that the error came from here, like that. I don't think you need a break here, but won't hurt. Okay. Cool. So, this button, click color, I'm sorry, no, this button shape dot set fill color to this button idle color. Okay, and I just remembered I did some things wrong up above. I'll have to get on that after this. So you can also do this text dot set fill color to this text idle color. Okay, like that. And this text dot set outline color to this outline text. No, sorry, outline color, like that. Cool. All right, so that's what's going to happen if it's idle. Button hover, text hover, outline hover. Oh, I'm sorry, this last one here, that's going to be the button shape outline. Sorry about that. Oh, I guess you could do an outline color for the text if you wanted to. Yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent. And now we're just going to call this in this update function, this mouse, no, this button, this update button state mouse position like that. Cool. Sick. And that's pretty much all I do in here. Yep. And then all we have to do next is just essentially a render function. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now we just need a render function at this point. It's looking good. Okay, render functions. I guess would be a constant. Make this a constant. We can also make this a reference. Change this here as well. Okay, cool. So target dot draw this button shape first, and then on top of that we'll draw. And the order of this is like layers in Photoshop. The first one's going to be the back object that's drawn, and now we're going to draw the text so it's on top. Okay, beautiful. Okay, we're pretty good. Now, one thing I forgot to do, gotta do that real fast, is we gotta figure out some cool colors for this stuff. Okay, so we got to, all right, so button shape, that's it, outline. Actually, you know, before I do all of this, I think I will do, all right, so this button idle color, this equals this button idle color like that. This button hover color is going to be equal to button hover color. This button click color is going to be equal to this button click color. And then we do that for the outline and the text as well. We need the outline. Okay, cool. So it's going to be hard to get this in the order that we want because we've initialized these things to transparent and they have to be at the very end. So we're never going to be perfect in that case, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway. So this is going to be, oh, this is wrong. So this should be this button idle color now. And this should be this outline title color now. Okay. And this should be this text title color now. Okay. There we go. All right, now we're 100% done. Oh, cool. So this will be like colors. Okay. Text colors. Shape. Shape. Just like that, okay? Excellent. Cool, we're looking good. Okay, we're pretty much done. All right, so now we're going to create a new state, and we're going to make it just a clone of the main menu state. We'll add another background just to see that we're 100% into that. So yeah, we'll do that. All right, so here we go. So first thing we want to do is save all, close everything. So what we want to do now is we want to go to the states class here. Do include, oops, this GUI, that, bam. And for class 4 declarations here, probably want to do class button, because that's the class. Okay. And then also add that as well here. So class button. Okay. And bada boom, bada bing. Now we're good. All right. So now we're going to go to project, add class. We'll call this settings. And the base class will be state again. All right. Click OK. Great. Now make sure you move the GUI stuff to here. And we'll go to source, go add, do filter. Actually, don't do that. Delete that filter. Delete. Add the settings to the state here. It's going to be where all the states are going to be. Cool. So once we're in here, we're going to do if in depth state h define state dot h and if, just like that. Okay. Don't know what the issue is. That should be good. Oh. Cool. Everything's happy. All right, so we'll go to private. And just go back to main menu here for now. We're just going to take all of this stuff and put it here. Okay. Just call this settings. Okay. What's the problem with state? Why? Why are you having trouble with that, huh? Uh-oh, what happened? What's wrong with my state thing? Everything like died. What did I do? Oh, haha. I'm so dumb. I meant to do settings here. It's because I copied the for declaration. That was so stupid. My gosh. All right, so settings H. That's what I did. Ah, wasn't even thinking. There you go. Yeah, so that happened because I had the same header guards. Man, that was dumb. There we go. Now button. Okay, now this is fine. Okay. Yeah, make sure you have original header guards. That's the whole point of them. Okay, wow. All right, there you go. Glad we caught that in a timely manner. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize this background, but I'm going to go to main menu here, main menu, CPP. Now it's going to be exactly the same in here, but I'm just going to quickly go choose a different background so we can see. All right, so digital art geometry. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. All right, so we'll save. Okay. So I'll change this to background 1. Put this in here. Background 2 like that. And I have to go to main menu. Do that there. Okay. Cool. And now in settings here. And that's essentially how we're going to know. That's essentially how we're going to know if we're in the setting state, okay? So, what's that? All right, so if we go back to settings here. Okay, I'm going to have to do a state. Game details. You have to do this for every. So we're passing this to the base class, right? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Um, okay, so now in main menu, we're gonna create some buttons. But in the state class, what we want to do is we want to create a vector of these buttons. So we're gonna do buttons. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a std unique pointer of said GUI button. All right, you need that namespace there now. It's gonna be button, okay. And then we're going to do an std vector of this button. All right. And we'll call this the button vector. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then in main menu here, we'll go to void init buttons. Init button. It's fine. Oops. Okay. So we can say this button equals std make unique GUI button. Okay, and whoop, we have that big constructor now that we have to do. Okay, so let's look at, all right, so we need to have an SF vector. So I'll put this right in the dead center for now. So do this. So I think if we look at the button here, all right, so we got button position, button size. All right, so we got button position, right? So we'll do this game details window dot get size point x divided by 2 point f, but we'll static cast this to a float, so we need to do that. Just this part of it, and then so this is going to be for the button position here. Y. Change that to Y real fast. Okay, so that's for the button position. Okay, so now we need a SF vector 2F for the size, and this will be button position. All right, and for the size, we'll do I don't know. Let's just do let's do 100F by 50F. See how that looks. Okay, then we need font. So we'll do this game details font. Okay. Then we need the string. So it'll be like settings. Then we need the character size, which I will do, I guess, 50. Then we need SF color. So when it's idle, we'll just make it white for testing. If it's hover, we'll make it blue. And if it's clicked, we'll make it red. And this is just for the test. And then the others are going to remain transparent because we set this by default, so we don't even need to put anything there. And you see now it works, all right? And because we already have these defaults set to transparent, we don't necessarily need to do anything for these other colors, all right? They're just going to be transparent. Okay, so this is the minimum amount we need. All right, so we just created one button. All right, now we need to push this button back into the button vector, essentially. Okay, so okay, now we need to push this button back into the button vector. All right, so now we're going to do this button vector dot pushback std move. This is really important. You have to do this because essentially what we're doing is we're taking the object that's on this pointer and we're moving it to the unique pointer inside the vector. So you need to do the std move this button, and this will reset the button so that we can use it to create another button just like what we did All right. So now that is in the vector. Okay. So now we need to call this init button like that. Okay. And okay, so now we need to update the buttons. Okay. Void. All right. So we need to update the buttons. So okay. So what we'll need to do is we need to update this button function, and we also need to get if it's if we need to get a bool or a flag if this is if the button's been pressed. So we'll do getters uh bool uh get if uh button click get button click state. Okay, so essentially if this button state is equal to button state click, then return true, else if this is not the case, else if it's not, return false. Okay, that should be enough. Let me just check this out. See. Yeah. That should be fine. Yeah, I guess you don't even need this. You could just leave it like this. So it's going to return false. It's going to return false regardless of what you do. And when you're dealing with if statements, if you only have one line after the if statement, you don't need to use brackets like this. But if the minute you have a second or more line, then you will have to use brackets like this. So that's why I'm not using brackets for these if statements. So I only have one line immediately after. Okay, so let me go back here. Separation there. Good. All right, and I'll call this my getters. Cool. Excellent. Actually, I don't want to vector these buttons. I want a map. I want an STD map. I want an STD map. STD. Let me double check to see. I think I want an STD map of this stuff. Let me see. States. I'm almost 100% sure I had a map before. Yes, it was. Oh my gosh. All right, yeah. So it's a map. All right, so we're doing a map. All right, so take this back. Take this back. We'll do a std string for the key, and we'll do this for this, and we'll call this just essentially buttons like that. All right, cool. So exact same thing we did, but we're going to initialize it. We're going to do this a little bit differently. So if you go to main menu here. Okay, so just buttons. Actually, I'll call it the button map because I think it makes more sense. Button map like that. All right, so if I go back to main menu here, to the button map, I will say at key settings, and settings is going to be equal to std move this button, and that should do the trick. Okay, that's how you initialize the map. Okay, great, fantastic, cool. So now we can grab this button from the button map from this keyword settings. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay, so I guess in state here, I can do void update buttons, just like that. Cool. And I can do for I think I can do it just like that. Cool. And in main menu here, and the update, I can do this update mouse position, this update buttons, like that. Cool. And then what we can do is have a update. Actually, in this state here, I can update button map. Make that button map. Button map like that. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry, not that. In here, button map. Okay, and then in this, in the main menu here, I can have void update buttons. Okay. Then essentially, if this button map uh, settings get button click state, right? If that's true, then I want to essentially push this game details dot states dot push back settings pushback. How do I do this in game? I've got to just check. Yeah, make unique. Exactly. Beautiful. All right, so I gotta do pushback std make unique settings. This game details. Right? Oh, I gotta add settings now to I think the state. Right? I got all right, so I have to add this here. So include settings. There we go. Bam. Okay. Now I want to do this update buttons. Okay, this should be the moment of truth. Let's see if this runs. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, I see that. But let's see what's going on here. Oh, we got to render the button. We got to render the button. That's so dumb. Okay, so what we would need to do here is we got to go to void render buttons. We could actually probably do this in the state class. All right. Void render button map. This exact same thing here. Yeah, but what we will need for sure is we will need a use a reference though. Update button map. Just like that. Cool, cool, cool. And then in main menu here, we'll do this. Like that. Now this should work. And blah, look at that. We got the settings. And we, now you see it just pushed us to the settings class. Look at that. And look at that font. That font's so weird. That font's so weird. Like, that's a weird font. Huh. That's so weird. It's almost like it doesn't do capital letters. What the hell is happening now? Oh, that was the, don't mess with that. That's the key for the button map. That's the key for the button map. You don't want to mess with that. Just do settings here. Okay, this font does not do capital letters. So that's why that's like that. All right. But you see here we have the graphics, so we're clearly in the settings, all right? Okay, so this is a good place to stop for now. Hopefully you followed that. Man, that was a lot. This video is probably, close to 2 hours. But anyway, we did a lot. We accomplished a lot. Very happy about that. Sick. That's freaking sick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna make sure everything is cleaned up. Okay, so these are all the private. Excelente. All right, so what we'll do here, so go to commit and stash. We'll say created button, or actually create a GUI button and settings state from scratch. That's like the big thing we did. Okay, so that came from scratch. So let's just take note. All right, so now we'll do state.h here. Okay, cool. So we added 2 4 declarations. 3, we added this to the game detail struct. 4, added all of this stuff. 5, added these. Added. Cool. Okay, so now state.cpp 1 added all of that. Okay, cool. And then in main menu .h, we added the settings to added and to class 4 declarations, and then 3 we added this, 4 we added this. Cool. All right, now main menu.cpp. We changed this to this and this to. We added this. 3. We added this to this, or we added this. 5. Add, oops. I'll just say we changed to 6. We added to this. Okay. All right, now game.h. We added to, added 3, added. All right, so we got game.cpp. Added 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 2. Or added by well, it changed to that. Okay, cool. All right, excellent. So we should be able to commit this now. Just want to double check everything, make sure. Oh, one thing I should add here is all the class 4 declarations. So in the GUI, um, in this namespace. So all right, so what do we have? We have class SF text, class SF color, class SF rectangle shape, and class, I know we have class SF font. That's a type def. Oh, we have render target class. That's a render target. Okay. Cool. So all the class 4 declarations. Let's say button state enum. Cool. Nice. And one thing I would also do, because we're going to add more to this, is button is just have this to kind of know that everything under this line is going to be button, and when we add the drop downs and stuff, we'll put that way down here for drop downs. Okay. All right, groovy. That's looking freaking awesome. Excellent. All right. So let's just run this one last time before we commit. Excellent. We got our settings. It's turning blue and the mouse is hovering. It's just automatic. You're not going to see the click because it's just too fast, but that's essentially what's going on. And now we're in the settings and we can close it. And I guess we might as well just add the back button for the settings here. So let's just go into settings real fast and go void init button. That's all we did right here, right? Init button. Well, we should probably make that plural, but all right, just go to main menu, CPP, and we're just gonna copy everything here right now and just put it in here. But we're gonna just say back here, back, and just say back. Okay. And I forgot how I did this in the other one. I think I had like a so like we had end state. What's end state is quit equals this is quit, get is quit, get is quit. And then if I go to the game here, get is quit. All right, pop back. All right. All right, yeah. Okay, so that's where I did that. Okay, cool. So essentially we'll go, this is just to be the very last thing we'll do. We'll go into set state here. We'll have some setters here. Setters. And we'll call this void set width. Okay. And we can have oops. quit bool. And quit. Okay. And then if you go to settings here, we should initialize this in variable. So this quit equals false. Okay. Cool. And the set quit, we'll just set quit. We can do, you say, I guess, set quit true. This is just like always set it to true. Or I guess say, set end state. Say set end state. All right, we'll do that. Set end state. All right, so yeah, so say end state. All right, bool. All right, so call this end state. Call this end state. Set end state. Okay, so cool. Okay. Nope. Don't want that. Let's do that. I don't know what the heck's. Oh, that's that. So now this end state equals true. Like that. Bam. That's all it's gonna do. It's just gonna set that end state bool to true. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And we'll have a getter. Get getters, and then we'll have a bool here, and we'll say get in state. Okay. And this will just return this end state. Okay. So we got a little getter here. Mistakes. So we got the getters, setters, blah blah blah. All right, cool, cool, cool. Okay, cool, beautiful. All right, now if we go back to game here, update. Okay, if this is not empty, if this states, all right, so if you can imagine, like we have the main menu, and then we, on top of the main menu, we add the setting state. So now the setting state's at the very back of the vector, essentially. So we got get end state. So if this is going to be true, then this state dot pop back. All right, so if that's true, then that's gonna pop that back. I'm filming right now, baby. I'm sorry, baby. I know you're very excited, but I'm filming right now. I'll talk to you in a second, all right? I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. All right, that's my wife. She came in all excited to tell me something, and sorry about that. All right, so here we go. I know this video is getting really long. It's getting extremely long. All right, so we're gonna do this. All right, so we just have this. Set the pop back. Okay. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. All right, so the pop back. Okay, so now if we go into settings here, we're gonna have we can copy this from main menu. We're gonna have update buttons. I'm gonna make this plural because it's starting to make sense that it's plural now. Okay. And here, make this plural as well. All right, and then here, make this plural, and then this will be this init buttons. And then if I go to the settings.h, it's gonna be buttons as well, like that. That's gonna be good. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, so now if I go back to the main menu header here, right, I'm just gonna copy this here, and then go over here, put this here. Okay. Right. And make sure that this is under here with all these other update functions, and then go back to the main menu. Grab all this first. Here, that's where it's supposed to go. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I want to grab this, all this stuff, go over here, put it over here, but change this to back, and all right. This game tells that state that set state oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. I want to do this set in state. All right, and I do probably want to make that a little bit more descriptive. Set in state to true. Just say like to true. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. To true. I'm sorry, my wife is right here. What? All right, I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit. I'm filming right now, baby.
Live?
Yeah, I'm live. I'm on the internet. All right. All right. So set in state to true here. All right. Get this. I messed this up. So make this go back to this. All right. Ooh. So set in state true. That's what I want to do. Set. Okay. Now we're gonna set that to true. Set in state true. All right. So now I have set that to true. All right, and by setting that to true, now when we're in the game state, it's going to be always looking for this, and if that is true, then it's going to pop the state back. So this should work now. Okay. I don't see, oh, we need the render. We need to add the render. I knew we were missing something. So go to header here. Just go into render. All right, we need to draw, we need this. Like that. Okay, so that's in the render CPP, but we also need the update buttons. What am I doing? We need all this stuff too. Just like that. Okay, what the heck's happening here? Okay. Buttons. Back. Move this button back to the button map. Yep. Okay. Okay. I might have to move this render button map because the main menu is still alive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna make this state specific because I think this is the issue here. No. Put this here and make this just or declare this here. Okay, like that. And then we'll for declare this separately in here. And so render button map. Okay, like that. And then cool, like that. I think that's right enough. There we go. Look at that. All right, cool, cool, cool. Maybe that wasn't even the issue. All right, so you see now this is right over the settings button, so it's like the minute I click it, it's going right over. So I need to probably bring that down a little bit. But you see I can go back and forth. See, if I were to push this settings, if I were to push this settings, if I were to push this settings button up a little bit, yeah, so that was a big thing. We have to take that out of the settings because it's like trying to, because the main menu's like still alive, so it's just like running. I think it's attempting to run it both from each of those, which was kind of causing it to freak out. So if I were to push this up like 200 here, just so it's not right over the settings button. All right, so you see, now it stays. I might have to push it up a little bit further. Let's push up like 500. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually affecting the size of the button here. That's why I got to comment this stuff out. So this is button position. This is button size. So let's do this plus 200. All right, so now the back button's here. See, so now I can cleanly go between them. If you have the buttons right over each other, you may have some issues like that. But you see, we're going back and forth between the two different states, nice and clean. So let's just recap what I did to fix that, okay? So I initially had the render buttons map in here. You can take this out of states completely. That should be state specific. So you should just have that. You should just have that on the main menu and on the settings itself, and that will get rid of that issue we were having. Okay, that's all it was. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. So now we're going between the settings and we're going between the main menu and the settings. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. All right, so we got to stop it here. I'm just going to all right, so I did change some more things in here, so let's just go ahead and get this down. So I did add all right, so essentially this should be 5 added. Essentially added. Actually, oops, no, don't want to do that. I added all of this stuff. All right, added that. And 5 should be added. All right, we did not add this because we added that, but we did do did add that. We took out the render thing, so you can take that out. Okay. And also in the state.cpp, we took out the render state CPP. Okay, so we okay, so we added one is actually we added this to this, right? Then we added then what we did with 2 is really we added all of this. All right, and 3 is actually the update functions. And we took out the render function. Okay, and then in main menu here, update buttons, and then actually 5, it's like we added this. And then all right, so 6 was actually that we added all of this. And I got a duplicate there. Take that out. And this would be 7. Okay, great. Okay, now in game.h, game.h, I didn't touch anything from before. Yeah, it's all the same. It's just in game.cpp. All right, so we changed. Yeah, so this is the last thing we did. Thank gosh. All right, so here, so we changed this now to this. Okay, great. All right, perfect. Now we're done. This video is completely done. I'm done with this video. All right, cool. So yeah, let's just run it one last time, just make sure everything is good. All right, we're in main menu state. Now we're in setting state. Now we're back to main menu state. Now we're in setting state. Now we're back to main menu state. Now we're back. All right, pretty cool, huh? Pretty amazing. Excellent. So I hope you found this video informative. I know it was a little long, but apologize for my wife coming in, but she was just excited because she just got a business opportunity. But excellent. I will see you in the next video, okay? Last thing we'll just do real quickly is press commit. All right, we're good. All is good in the hood. Product solution, just close these up. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. To save as. Get repository. Bam, all is good. All right, I'll see you next one. Bye bye.